Hello, and welcome back to Slim Bits. I haven't done one of these in a while, so let's see if I remember how to do it. This is on episode 12 of KILLROY, Space Jab. If I remember correctly, my original plan for KILLROY was to do 12 episode seasons, back in my more ambitious days. And I figured it was a good number to have 12 episodes per season. So this would have been essentially the season finale of the first season of KILLROY. This episode features an alien villain who kidnaps our hero and puts him into an intergalactic fighting pit. There have been a few supervillains like that in comic books, like Mojo and the Grand Master and Mongol. And this is my way of paying homage to alien villains like that, because they seem to pop up every once in a while in superhero comics. And I really hadn't done like an alien villain before, so I thought it'd be fun to put KILLROY into space. Once I settled on the fighting pit idea, I realized that pro wrestling, particularly the 80s and 90s, World Wrestling Federation had style of wrestling. That was like the perfect avenue to incorporate some like alien aesthetic to it, because it was so over the top and weird that just lent itself pretty well to aliens. So the main guy here, Lou Bano, is named after Captain Lou Albano, one of the great professional wrestling manager characters. I originally wanted him to be played by my friend Scott, who got me into wrestling, and I figured he'd know exactly who Lou Albano was. He knew how to do the inflection for him. He was not available to do the voices, and because I was on these like self-imposed deadlines of getting an episode out every month, I called up Brian, who is the voice of the mayor in all the KILLROY episodes, to voice the character, and I think he did a fine job considering he didn't know who Captain Lou Albano was. This episode also features one of the only times where KILLROY and my character are split up, so it gave me an opportunity to incorporate somewhat of a B-plot into this series, where my character is removed from KILLROY, doesn't know he's abducted by aliens, but spends the rest of the episode trying to steal cable to watch the very same fighting tournament that KILLROY is put into. So in all these like comic book stories where like the hero is abducted by aliens and has to go up against an alien champion who is undoubtedly like a really powerful, really muscular alien, I modeled the character after Macho Man Randy Savage, one of the all-time superstars of wrestling. When I originally made this cartoon, and I think I've mentioned before that a lot of my early Season 1 episodes of KILLROY were all based on the old Newground episodes that I had done. This is no exception. Actually, this phone call sequence here is a little different, because originally it just took place with me on a couch, and in this one I'm carrying on with my B-plot of stealing cable. But originally, the wrestler alien was going to be modeled after Hulk Hogan. And between when that Newgrounds episode went up and when it was time to remake it, Hulk Hogan got himself involved into a bit of real-world controversy. So it was probably in my best interest to have changed the wrestler around. And as we're about to see, we'll see a short little cameo from 10 Pound and Trooper from my short-lived Star Wars series, which was another early Flash cartoon of mine set in outer space, and I thought that was sort of a good little nod to that series from my old Newground days. People who bother remembering it, I'm pretty sure nobody remembers Star Wars. It wasn't that entirely popular. It wasn't that popular. So yeah, KILLROY's getting his clocked clean here by Chogan, or whatever I named that Macho Man alien, and he is saved by the unwitting interventions of my character using, cartoon and TV show science and logic to dictate that him stealing cable is enough to throw the guidance system of the spaceship out of whack. This sequence here where we're kind of flying through space, there was a rendering mistake. I swear to God, the background looked a lot more impressive in that sequence, but instead of it being like that solid black backdrop, you'll see near the end of this episode that there's the very last scene that shows a depiction of space. It has like nebulas in the back, and there's like a lot more star detail. That was originally the background. Something screwed up. I screwed up. Who knows? One thing I will mention before we wrap up here is at the very end, this was my attempt to do a Marvel Cinematic Universe inspired stinger at the very end to let people know of, an impending threat that is coming down, that'll be revealed later in episodes. So we have this ominous, shadowy figure, this Thanos, this dark side looking character who, you're meant to think is, oh, this is going to be like the big threat for the next season that I'll be dropping hints intermittently. But then, like, we pull back the curtain and reveal that, oh, he's actually kind of pathetic. This whole sequence is another very obscure nod to wrestling. This odd talk show looking place, Tuesday Night Tyrants, is directly based on a short-lived show called Tuesday Night Titans, which was Vince McMahon's attempt at making a talk show in the 80s, which was very loosely scripted, very loosely rehearsed, and mostly improvised with him and wrestlers. And it is just an absolute train wreck. And I encourage you to track down any episodes you can of Tuesday Night Titans, however you can, because it is just an absolute train wreck. Vince McMahon is just on the razor's edge of patience, and you can see him. You just know, between cuts, between commercial breaks, he's going to be chewing out his crewmen and telling people that they missed their mark, because it is just it's a delight to watch. It is just a glorious train wreck. But anyways, that was the 12th episode of the KILLROY series, and what was expected to be the season finale of season 1. So stay tuned for the next batch of Slimbit episodes, where I go into more detail of the KILLROY series. Bye for now.